Hi there folks, it's me, it's Nikki Nicole, and welcome to my December AMA video as sponsored by my wonderful Patreon backers. Thank you so much. Link below, shill, etc. Right, let's get started, shall we? How long do you roughly spend getting dressed and dolled up? Also, what aspect of cross-dressing do you enjoy the most and why? Well, firstly, it really depends on what I have to do. It might take me anything from an hour and a half to 3 hours to get ready, depending on whether I've got to put big boobs on, or especially when you very big wig needs a lot of care and attention to make sure it doesn't fall off, that sort of thing. Usually makeup takes around 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how slow I'm taking it. Often I'll just sort of relax and chill while I'm doing it. Otherwise, that's sort of it really. I would say anywhere between an hour and a half and 3 hours. Now, what aspects do I enjoy the most about dressing is being dressed up and seeing myself dressed up. I think it's everybody's dream when they want to dress up is they want to see themselves as this different person, or at least, you know, bringing out one of the person they are within. And for me, that's very much as soon as I put on my hair and I look in the mirror and I go, that's Nikki. That's like my favorite part about dressing. And then you know, if you're feeling really good and you feel like you're looking really good, you continue to then enjoy that and take it into everything else you do. And it's something I love absolutely. And I still get so excited when I put something brand new on. Put something brand new on that I really love, and I love the look of it. And it's, yeah, probably that. Do you prefer to shoot with or without the large breast forms? If it's a question of comfort, without. They are kind of annoying to work with, especially when you're trying to get them to look good on camera. Of course, you know, you can Photoshop a lot of like stuff that doesn't work very well, but usually I like to get into a flow when I'm shooting, and having to like just literally turn to the mirror every 5 seconds to make sure that necklace isn't showing, you know, isn't come off the crease or anything like that. It's just really annoying and really gets into it. I absolutely love the look of them, and they are one of the best things I've ever bought, absolutely, but they totally take a lot of work. And, you know, usually I prefer shooting without them. Let's say I prefer having shot with the large breast forms, but I prefer shooting without them. Can you do a Peg Bundy cosplay set? I have a very large list of looks that I'd like to do, and another list of looks that I'd like to redo. Now my skills with photographs have sort of improved, and this stuff and skills with dressing, there's looks I want to go back to. Peg Bundy is a very special one. I always wanted to do all my life, basically. And the trick with her is getting the hair right. So she's like one of the cosplays or costumes or looks that I would put together. I want to buy like a big wig especially for. So it's kind of hard to justify it sometimes if I'm only going to do it for one look. I've just spent several £100s on a very large wig that I plan to use for like maybe 8, 9, 10 looks. So it totally gets its money worth. So that's what I think about in terms of like cosplay and things like that, is sometimes does it fit into my budget? But if I want to do it that badly, I'll just do it and work it out afterwards. Any tips for aspiring drag / cross-dressers? Anything you'd have wanted someone to tell you when you were starting? Well, my tip for somebody would be to just dive into it. One of the things I did when I was growing up is I didn't want to cross-dress until I had a place of my own, and I held to that. Absolutely. So I moved into a place when I was about 22, 23, and I then started dressing, and I wish I'd started earlier, because I feel like there's a lot of lost years. I mean, I'm into my mid-30s now, and just sort of hitting my prime, and I sort of wish that I could go back and tell myself, just get going and do it. Dive in, enjoy yourself. Don't worry about what anyone else says. So that's what I would have wanted someone to tell me when I was starting, is just do it. Just get into it, enjoy it, find people who share this thing with you. I think the worst thing you can do is sit absolutely like on your own in a bubble and worry about what the rest of the real world is going to think of you, when there is a world out there for you. So I think absolutely you should get out there, do your thing. How big is too big for breasts or butts or lips? This is a tough question. Obviously I have a penchant for large breasts, but it does sort of have a limit with me. I mean, the forms that I have are as big as I'd like to have them, because I mean otherwise it just becomes very difficult to fit it all in with anything, and I'd like a sort of smaller pair for various things. I would say it's too big if it looks wrong, you know, and that's completely up to you. If you want to have beach balls bouncing around everywhere and that looks great, then fine. But most of the time I try and think about what kind of boobs does this outfit need, or does this outfit need boobs? You know, going back to the whole being convenient, more convenient to shoot with or without it, that kind of thing. But yeah, butts and lips, same thing really. It really depends on what kind of look you're going for. If I was going to do a big bimbo look like I do a lot, then absolutely, you know, have a big pair of lips on there, because that adds like a lot to it. Personally, if I was doing a look like this, then I wouldn't do the big lips because it wouldn't look right, you know. Sometimes that rule is, you can break that rule sometimes, but I generally stay by it. Is Nicole a last name or a middle name? It is whatever you want it to be. When I was thinking of usernames, I tend to just go for the easiest thing. So when I came up with the name of Nikki or Nicole, I always had this idea that, well, I guess they're both first names really, because Nikki is a very fun-loving sort of bimbo character, and then Nicole can be the sort of posh way, because I really enjoyed the name because you can take it both ways. Have you ever considered more elaborate prosthetics, makeup, whatever, apart from breasts, like butt, face or masks? I have padding, that kind of thing. I've never thought of actual like prosthetics, like a butt prosthetic that I could show on its own without any clothing over it, that kind of thing. I'm very much more in the idea of just padding out and putting something over it. Lips, I have a couple of pairs of prosthetic lips that were made at some point. If you're really desperate to see them, then leave a comment in the thing below. I've never tried them. I've seen them on people and they look interesting, but the thing when you're getting into like stage makeup and like stage prosthetics and things like that, it just becomes like a massive, like that 3 hours I said that I'd take to get ready, like max, turns into like 6 hours, and it's just too much really. So I never really thought of that, unless I could afford to pay an assistant to put it on me, then maybe, but I've never really thought about it too much. Do you ever go for a more casual look in girl mode? Yes, almost every time I go out of the house when I'm dressed up, I'm more about passing than anything else really. When I go out to places, I've been out to like clubs like Torture Garden where I've really dressed up, and to be honest, like when I look at myself and I feel really good about myself, I do take that confidence out with me, but I don't lose anything by doing a more scaled back casual look. So I do bits and pieces, and you know, some pictures will pop up, but what I'm really about is the sort of slightly sort of flamboyant outfits and things like this, and you know, nice sort of designed like looks and things. So it doesn't really do a lot for me to go out more casually, but if I do want to go out, I will dress down a little bit. Do you have a boyfriend? Not right now, no. Little lonely me. Oh well. Is this something you do just at home when you're in the mood, or are you a full-time babe? I am not a full-time babe. I do not spend all of my time dressed up. I'm very much part-time. Although since I started the Patreon, that kind of thing, I'm spending a lot more time dressed up. Since I started the Patreon, I started streaming again. Nikki's very much a big part of my life. I would say half and half. And, you know, I enjoy both. I enjoy being dressed up and being and hopefully looking nice, and feeling nice, and enjoying the character of being Nikki, or you know, call it a character, call it a persona. But as a boy, I have a job and I do stuff, and that's sort of like, my boy life is about taking care of business, really. And also relaxing and not having to dress up sometimes is a good thing to do. Do you naturally have a feminine voice, or did you train your voice? Do you have any tips on vocal training or feminization? I trained my voice. I don't have a natural feminine voice. I really hate my boy voice. Like most people don't like the sound of their own voices. I absolutely loathe it. So I was very happy to spend the time and train my voice. Back when I was camming, I decided that it would be a good idea to learn to speak in a more feminine way. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it goes out, and you know. And then I spent probably like 10, 12 hours on cam every week practicing, and that really is it. Even if you're walking around your house, like reading out labels on food tins or packets or whatever, or anything you see, any signs you see at home, or anything you read, like anything you read on the internet or wherever on Reddit, read it out loud and try and practice your feminine voice. There's something I read somewhere that boys have like a bigger range than girls, so it's actually every male, everybody who has a male body, or whatever you want to say, has the capacity to find that register, and it's more of feeling than anything else. It's something you do have to train, and I would suggest that everyone does it. Everyone should, every aspiring T-girl or crossdresser or something, you should absolutely find your voice, because it not only does it worried about how being more passable, that sort of thing, but it also just adds like this layer of confidence to your character. It really makes you feel like you want to feel inside, or it really makes you want to feel like, it really makes you feel like you feel inside. You feel like you're putting that out to the world. So I would suggest that everyone does it. Any tips? There's a million YouTube tutorials that you can watch on this. I would say don't worry too much about the pitch. It's about the tone. So I would say go and watch a few YouTube tutorials, because it would take me, maybe I'll do a thingy on voice. That'd be nice to do a video on training voice. I think that's a good idea. Thank you. Well, anyway. Well, thank you so much for all your questions. That's it for now. I'm just about to start my Hangout stream in about like half an hour or so I have to get ready for that. But thank you so much to all my patrons on my Patreon page. So go there and pledge if you should like. If you want to see lots and lots of like more photos of me and what I've been doing, what I've really been doing in the last like couple of months, then head over there. And thank you so much for all the questions from Rye Maestro, Lucius101, Sleepfall93, Sylvia, Courtney Harkin, Terry, Luke Goslin, and Dom Kepler. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.